Hey y'all, hey. My name is TJ and welcome to my channel, Creating Your Amazing, where I chronicle my journey to my most healthiest and healed self. Yesterday was Monday, April 13th, and I officially have lost 52 pounds of body fat and gained 17 pounds of muscle in a little bit over a year. This week also marks the third week of Lifetime's 60XT Transformation Challenge. And in that time, I have lost 6 pounds and gained 1.7 pounds of muscle. And what makes this week even more special is that I'm just about 50 days away from my 50th birthday, and I cannot believe it. I still remember when I was 5 years old. This is a big deal for me because a year ago, I wasn't sure just how long I could keep going. A year ago, I weighed 295 pounds. I felt sick, inflamed, exhausted, and just unsure. I struggled to sleep, to walk, to breathe, and just to live a normal life. A trip to the ER with the flu was my final wake-up call. I thought I was gonna die. Thankfully, I didn't, but every night after that, I went to sleep thinking that I might. And that was terrifying for me because I'm the mother of 3 young people, and my youngest is still in high school. That season forced me to get honest with myself. I realized that I didn't just need to lose weight, I needed to change my life. And if I was gonna change my life, I needed to become someone else. I needed to decide who I wanted to be and become her own purpose. And that is a big part of why I named this channel Creating My Amazing. Because to me, amazing is not perfection. It's not some fantasy life where everything is easy and polished and perfect and figured out. Amazing is something that I create. Amazing is the result of the choices that I make, the habits that I build, and the way that I keep going even when things are hard. For a long time, amazing to me felt like some future version of myself I was unsure that I would ever be. Something that I was chasing. Somebody I hoped I would be one day. But over the last year, I have realized something deeper. Amazing is not something I wait for. Amazing is something that I build. Day by day, choice by choice, habit by habit. I had already been meditating daily for a number of years. And during this time, I really leaned into my meditation practice. And I also revisited some books that I had always found helpful. Atomic Habits, Think and Grow Rich, and Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I took the principles in those books and I applied them to my life and my health, because health is the most important version of abundance to me. I stopped thinking about only what I wanted, and I started figuring out the things that I needed to do to become that person. I began making better food choices, not perfect choices, just better. I incorporated some time-restricted eating and even some alternate day fasting into my regimen and increased my water intake and reduced my alcohol intake. Right now, I have not had alcohol in a number of months. I don't know how many months it's been, but it is very few and far between that I will indulge in alcohol at this point, because I know that for my body, it's not right, at least not right now. I'd also been dealing with fibromyalgia and arthritis for a number of years, so movement was kind of complicated for me. So when I first started this, the most I could do was some stretching, sitting on the side of my bed every morning, and that was it. Eventually I started walking on the trails near my home and then swinging kettlebells a couple days a week. and that was it. Then there was a plot twist. I found out that the pain that I had been having in my foot all summer, as I walked to improve my health, it was a fracture. I had fractured my foot, and I just kept going. And people would ask me, you know,
how do you not know that your foot is broken?
And the truth of the matter is, when you deal with chronic pain, you just come to expect some level of pain on a daily basis. So the fractured foot, that was par for the course for me, really. Or at least the pain was, not the fracture. That was my first time fracturing anything in my whole life. So I spent about 4 to 5 months in an ortho boot, and I was sedentary besides working. I work as a hairstylist. Kept making progress in my weight loss through nutrition alone. 1 month I even lost 10 pounds, and it was just from watching what I put in my mouth and making sure I drank my water. That was it. That was it. So then I get the boot off, and in January I decided to go back to the gym. I joined a gym near my home, and then eventually Lifetime, and I was only doing upper body strength training at that time, a couple days a week. And then about 2 months into that, I moved to doing some lower body strength training as well as some walking. And today, April, I am doing 4 days of strength training, 2 upper body, 2 lower body, and cardio. I just walk. That's it. That's all. The reason why I chose Lifetime is because the environment felt more aligned with my long-term health goals. Being in an environment where just about everybody in there is really getting after their health goals gave me life. The staff is friendly, the amenities abound, there's plenty of equipment, and so I was happy there. And then when the 60XT challenge was announced, it lined up exactly with what I was already doing. I had already been using an 8-week training block with a deload and peak structure. So when I figured out that the 60XT challenge actually lined up perfectly with the beginning of my birth month, I knew that it was meant to be. So I signed up. I felt like it was really a chance to show up for myself and really make turning 50 mean something. Right now, one of the biggest things that I'm learning is how to trust myself, to trust my body when it tells me things are going on, and to trust my mind not to override those signals. I can feel my nervous system slowly coming out of survival mode. I feel calmer, I feel more grounded, I feel more peaceful, and I feel more confident to do the things that I had sometimes struggled to do. Even something as simple as be out in public. I do still struggle with being seen sometimes. But the one thing that I'm understanding is that if people are looking at me, it's because they see the changes. They see my work, and they see that something is different. And honestly, I am doing pretty amazing things these days. My goals for the next 50 days are to keep my diet as tight as I can possibly do it, close to perfect as I can, train hard, and continue building this version of myself. Losing weight while being in that ortho boot really brought home for me the importance of nutrition. Nutrition does the heavy lifting. Your kitchen is 80% of your progress. You cannot out-train a crappy diet. and I had heard it so many times, and I finally understand. At the beginning of this year, I made a promise to myself to become the most fit version of myself that I've ever been in my whole life, and I intend to continue to make strides toward that. I have goals, and I will share them as the time is appropriate. If I come out of the 60XT challenge having lost 20 pounds of body fat, increase my muscle mass, become more fit, and I can still smile, I will already consider that a win. And beyond 60XT, what I want is bigger than a challenge. What I want is a life that is centered around my health and well-being. Because for so long, I was so concerned with everything and everyone else around me that I neglected myself. So joining 60XT is not about getting a summer body for me. It's about placing another brick in the foundation that I've already built over the last year. A stronger life, a healthier life, a more peaceful life, a life that is aligned with who I am becoming. And that is what creating my amazing means to me. It means I am no longer waiting for a life that is magically what I want. I am building it, choice by choice, habit by habit, day by day. 50 days from 50 years old feels like the perfect time to say that out loud. 50 does not feel like an ending to me. It feels like alignment. It feels like becoming. I am still building, and I am still creating my amazing. And I'm glad that you're here with me to watch it take shape. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you next week for week 4 of the 60XT challenge. Until then, take care and be kind to yourself. Bye-bye.